What's going on, Neutronians, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a little bit different. We will be talking about the latest PlayStation and gaming news of the week so we can get this channel up to 100,000 subscribers. So let me know what you think about this video and if you want to see this every week. We will be talking about the big news, which is Ghost of Yotei, and I know I take the piss out of politics and everything from time to time in my videos, but this is why I've always said you should always keep politics out of gaming. We all know about the price increase for all of these game consoles, games, everyone's freaking doing it. If you are in the UK, there is actually a discount for the PS5 console, which I know is quite surprising, and this autumn deal will end 1st of October, so if you were thinking about getting a PS5 console, now is probably the best time. So for a limited time, you can get the base PS5 digital for £339.99, which is £90 off. This is actually a really good deal if you've been waiting, but I would always opt and recommend you get the base PS5, which is coming in at £434.99, which is a £45 discount. Now the reason I say that is because you can get so many physical games. When I go online to the PlayStation store and I look at some of these digital games, if I go to CEX, eBay, you can get so many games at such a good discount. That's why if you're gonna get one, I would opt for the physical one. It might be a bit more expensive, but you're probably gonna save a lot of money in the long run. So make sure you check their website out and see what deals if you were thinking about getting a PS5 now. There's been a firmware update for both the DualSense and the actual PS5, because this is more of an update for that supposed PS6 handheld. So with the DualSense, you can now use your DualSense for up to 4 devices in total. So I don't know what it was like before, but I assume it was quite long to keep disconnecting or connecting to another device. But now, if you use your DualSense for your PC and your PS5 and your mobile, you can now just have them all set to that. According to Sony is testing an official power save mode for the PS5 that will scale back performance and will allow your PS5 to reduce its power consumption when the feature is enabled optionally by gamers. So you will be able to do this manually on your PS5, I guess trying to save money on electric bills, but you know what, for me, I bought the PS5, you know, one of the most powerful console, and now the PS5 Pro. I didn't want to scale back any performance. I want to get the best version of these games. When you look at the rumors of the PS6 handheld, it makes sense, even though Sony are not going to admit anything. So this mode was mentioned last month in a series of rumors that claim Sony is preparing a reduced bandwidth mode, which PS5 titles running on the handheld system could be optimized for. So of course Sony are saying it is something to do with their net zero greenhouse gas emissions, but when you think about the PS6, and we've heard so many different things, that if the PS5 Pro is like £700, if the next generation console was like £800, £900 plus, Sony need to find a way to kind of make their console cheaper. So one of the ways is obviously this PS6 handheld, where if they have multiple devices or they have a main console but then you also have a PS6 handheld, which you can run PS5 games, and I'm assuming PS6 games that are like lower resolution, low performance mode, which is something to do with this update, it makes sense that they're trying this out now. This might be a more affordable options for a lot of gamers, because let's be honest, if you're looking at £800, £900 for the PS6, my gosh, a lot of people are not going to buy that. And we even look at now with the PS4 and the PS5, how long cross-gen has been running. Cross-gen has been running for so long. Like the PS5 has been out for 5 years. You've had so many companies and games that are still doing cross-gen games, and I think it's only from like next year companies are going to stop making cross-gen or last generation games, because so many people are still playing on those consoles. Well, you look at the living crisis, that's obviously going to make a difference. So Sony do need to find a way to get people to be able to afford that next generation consoles. This might be a good way. You're playing PS5 games at a lower resolution, even PS6 games, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Talking about performances on the PS5, well, you know, I bought the PS5 Pro. I want the best possible way to play my PS5 games because I only game on my PS5. Well, I bought this and I'm probably going to send it back. I haven't even opened it yet. Borderlands 4, someone was saying it is really fun, But what I'm seeing online is how bad the game is running the more you play, especially on the PS5 Pro. I played Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. A lot of people were saying it actually runs worse on the PS5 Pro. Apart from a few small frame drops, I had no problem with Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. But you look at this is like the second game that supposedly is now running worse on the PS5 Pro. And I think it's more of a AAA problem. I think these studios are just not taking enough time. We've seen it numerous times that they're just not taking enough time with these damn games. Borderlands 4 is suffering from memory leaks, and it is the PS5 Pro that's apparently throwing up these wild variations in frame rates. So players have reported that restarting the PS5 application temporarily fixed the fluctuations in frame rate after long play sessions, leading many to believe it's indeed a memory leak affecting Borderlands 4. And of course, Randy Pitchford decided to reply back to someone and said, known issue of performance dropping on PS5 Pro after several hours of continuous play. Work around until we patch. Quit game and restart. Sorry for the friction. No, this is totally unacceptable. It just makes you not want to buy any of their games. I'd rather get the money back so that pays for Silent Hill for a £65 game. This is not on. This is AAA we're talking about, and it's always AAA that we're having these serious problems. Not to mention, the problems are mainly on a £700 console. Make that make sense. And I know this is quite late news, but we got a new interview with the one and only Neil Druckman, the most likable CEO person in the gaming industry. So he's talking about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. With those first two trailers, it's not looking too good at the moment for this game. For me personally, with everything with The Last of Us Part 2, there's a lot to prove to a lot of gamers. Some of you will disagree, I get that. But according to Druckman, Intergalactic will be the most ambitious game we've ever made. To be honest, every game they do, it's always going to be the most ambitious game. Like The Last of Us Part 2 was the most ambitious game. I feel like it's more of a marketing slash, marketing thing, to be honest. Isn't every game the next game going to be bigger than the last? We're making it, we're playing it, we're firing all cylinders. I've said this before, but I really mean it. I'm feeling it right now. It's the most ambitious game we've ever made. It's the most expansive game we've ever made. Maybe the most expensive by the time we finish it. I do think there's a lot of gamers that will not be buying this game. I'm not talking for everyone, but for a £70 game, you've got to make sure that protagonist is a very likable protagonist. And we look back at the likes to dislike ratio. Damn. Good news is that Troy Baker will be in the game, and I think this is only a good thing. I think Troy Baker is probably my favorite voice actor in gaming. I just think every role he does, he nails, from Joel, obviously, from Death Stranding 1 and 2. His performances are amazing. Troy Baker was quite influential with helping her get the role. According to Neil Druckman, we had her on stage and I asked Troy to come in and read with her. So she read against Troy Baker. We were very confident that is our Jordan. Whether or not she is, I don't know. It's just the stuff that she's done. The last thing I would say for voice actors is don't attack gamers based off their opinion. We are all entitled to our opinions. The last thing you want to do is just crap on them and think, you know what, don't buy the game, when you need to rely on gamers to buy the game. Hopefully she just shuts her mouth and gets on with the job, because it just doesn't make any sense from the get-go you start attacking gamers. We're gonna have to see more for Intergalactic till we see like a gameplay trailer. That's the one thing I want to see, is a gameplay trailer or more about the story. We're jumping 2,000 years in an alternate future. We also have to figure out the law of this planet, Semperia, that Jordan, our hero, ends up on and has to work to escape from. As far as we're going off to show off, I'm so antsy to show it and talk about it, because the trailer that we show doesn't even scratch the surface of what this game actually is. But announcing a game like this, especially when it's a new IP, especially when it's coming out of Naughty Dog, you've got to coordinate with marketing, with PR, with a bunch of people. So it'd be foolish for me to say when we're going to show something right now. All I'll say is just make sure you're honest in these trailers. Everything that happened with The Last of Us Part 2, he's got to win back a lot of fans. With the Heretic Prophet, it's looking like it's going to be a very expensive game, and he seems pretty confident with it. And if you didn't know already, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, well, it's a rumor that there's going to be a remake of this game, and Ubisoft, you would understand why they're looking to remake this game. A lot of gamers have said this is one of the best games. I've never played it, so I want to, but I'm definitely going to wait for this remake, because they are making some changes to this as well. So they are looking to drop the modern day storyline with the Animus. I don't mind that, because after Desmond, I didn't really care about the modern day storyline of Assassin's Assassin's Creed. It was more just about the world you were in. There are going to be more RPG elements to this game. They're going to remove the modern day story sections and replace them with more narrative for protagonist Edward Kenway. So gameplay will supposedly be like the recent Assassin's Creed titles, which I think is only a good thing. I loved the games like Odyssey, Valhalla. I liked more Odyssey and Origins, and obviously you know how I feel about Assassin's Creed Shadows. But with these RPG elements, there's going to be more loot drops, gear stats for Edward's weapons and armors. The map will not be bigger than what it was in the original, but the islands you can reach on the pirate ship will supposedly have more activities, more side quests. Again, I can't really say much about this because I've never played it. And also there's going to be no loading screens as well. So for me, as good as what people have said this game is, if they just stick to the original and make these improvements, I think they're going to sell. And to be honest, we still don't know the sales numbers to Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I think Ubisoft kind of need a win, and this looks like it's a clear cut. This is supposedly targeting a early 2026 launch, but it may slip to later in the year, maybe depending on what GTA 6 does. We don't know. Wolverine, I think you guys remember Wolverine, do you? 2021, we got one trailer and it was never heard again, apart from a leak. Maybe next week we should be getting a state of play.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody calm down.
Listen, I was going to keep my expectations low, but supposedly Wolverine will be here, or most likely be here at this state of play. Now, if you guys know, with this video, I'm going to prioritize more videos than streams, but hopefully we will be streaming this state of play. This state of play should be coming next week. And with all these sources or rumors we hear, they're usually correct. It will be like a next week Tuesday. I reckon Sony will be like, join us tomorrow night at 10 p.m. UK GMT on a Wednesday or Thursday, where you'll see more games. Wolverine will supposedly have a 2026 release, but then there will also be a Venom spin-off game, which again, we heard nothing. We heard that there was a Venom spin-off game, a smaller game. And even with Tony Todd, before he passed away, I remember he said that most of the lines he was done, he did a lot more lines for the game, or we thought it was for Spider-Man 2, maybe it was a DLC. So I assume it's for this spin-off Venom game. And with what Insomniac did with Miles Morales, it was a much smaller game. I really enjoyed Miles Morales, really freaking enjoyed it, because it was a smaller game and I didn't mind it. And it's actually nice to get a game not too far away from the sequel. Like, I get it with these big budget games like Spider-Man 2, but I loved Miles Morales so much more because it was smaller, and I played it through like 2-3 times because it was a smaller game. Sometimes with these bloated games, I don't like to play them more than once or twice. We might be finally seeing some gameplay revealed to Wolverine, and I won't lie, I think I am a bit concerned of this game just because of how Insomniac was with Spider-Man 2, with the dialogue, with the modern day writing. I just don't think it was a superior game, and I didn't bother playing the game again. I just really didn't like some of the writing and the useless side quests to tick a checkbox, because essentially that's what it was. So am I concerned for Wolverine? Of course I am. Will we play just as Wolverine? I doubt it, because it's Insomniac. We played as a deaf girl in Spider-Man 2. Make that make sense. And now moving on to the biggest news of the week for me, I know I'm a bit late to this, is Ghost of Yotei is only a couple of weeks away. And for me with this game, just not been sure about this game. I feel like they've showed us so much gameplay to this game. It does look amazing in terms of the gameplay, the world building, but in terms of the character, we haven't heard too much from this damn character. But what's funny is that we did get a trailer literally the other day and we saw it on stream, which has actually said more words than I've ever heard her in the last 10 trailers. It just seems like an Assassin's Creed Shadow story, and since it's the same writers as Dragon Age the Vilgard and not the same writers as Ghost of Tsushima, that does concern me when it comes to politics in games, because this game has had its fair share of politics with, you know, the main actress being very, very vocal, which I just don't agree. Like, these people in gaming should just focus on gaming. The closer we get to release of this game, people are supposedly cancelling their pre-orders. You have a look at the YouTube or even Instagram, a lot of people are saying, with everything that happened with Charlie Kirk, and I don't want to get too political because it was so horrible what happened to him, and honestly I've been staying off the internet, to be honest, because it's just so sad. And I tell you what, the internet can be a freaking horrible place, and this is why I always say there is no room for politics in gaming, because as you all know, the Ghost of Yotei artist loses dream job after Charlie Kirk comments. and they said they would do it again. And this is someone who's worked for 10 years at Sucker Punch, and I won't lie to you, I've pre-ordered the DualSense controller. I haven't pre-ordered the game yet. I will buy the game because I was thinking of two ways. I was nearly going to cancel my DualSense because I thought, who is this person? And Sucker Punch better sack them. I'm really glad they did. But then it made me think as well, I just want to play games. If I enjoy them, I enjoy them. For people to cancel their pre-orders, obviously gamers can do what they want. But for the people that are good people that have worked on this game, I think it's just a shame that everyone will want people to cancel their pre-orders. That's the way I look at it, and to be honest, I just want to enjoy the game. I want to judge it by what it is, not by what one person has said. It's a very tricky situation, and hopefully, with the way the game industry has gone the last few years, with the politics and all of this crap writing, hopefully companies will start to understand that employees, you are here to make games for gamers. People that play games want to escape reality. If you're not passionate about that and you want to do some other shit, go and do that, but don't ruin our reputation, because in a way it is ruining their reputation. And if you look at Sucker Punch as a whole, if you just judge them by their last game, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games. So really, if I judge them by that, this game should deliver on that front. Although I am concerned with the main protagonist. What's she going to be like? Is the story going to be just as good? Would I have rather had a story with Jin Sakai? I think that would have been a safer option because people wanted that. But for me, I'm not going to cancel the game just because one person is an idiot. And how many people have worked on this game and are probably like just so disappointed in that person. But hopefully for me, I think game studios need to understand that they need to get rid of these pieces of crap out of their studio and go back to the days of hiring people that are enthusiastic about delivering the best product out there and actually respect their audience. So I don't know what you think about Ghost of Yotei. Hopefully it delivers. It does look amazing in terms of the gameplay. I just hope the story delivers. So we're only a couple of weeks away. Definitely going to be streaming that when that comes out. Damn, it's just been a weird few weeks, and I just urge you to do what I do. Just stay off the internet when you're not on YouTube. I want to know your thoughts on the latest gaming news of the week. I want you to let me know what you think of this video. Would you want to see this once per week as opposed to having the news on the live streams, which are slightly longer? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know. No comment of the day at the minute because this was a one-off video. But yeah, let's see what next week brings. Yeah.